King and I Life Podcast, hosted by myself, Soul Toucha the Poet, and my man in the house. Like we say, hit us up. You know how to hit us up. You know how to hit us up. You know how to hit us up. We about to get back into it though. Yes. So what were you saying before we took a break?
The point I was making is life.
Right.
We as individuals have to respect life. And there are clearly some people who just don't get it. They put on, whatever uniform in their occupation, and for some reason they feel like, well, I have the authority to take someone else's life. No, you do not have that authority whatsoever. You are someone, if you're a police officer, your duty is to uphold the law. Nowhere in any book, I'm sure, it says it's okay to kill someone in cold-blooded murder.
Right.
So it's kind of like the officer, the one from Texas, and the one that I sent you the video on, or you sent me the video on, whichever way. But all the things that he was talking about, and again, I have to agree with him when he said you just have to respect life.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, it don't matter what color you are. You just got to respect life.
Right.
Like it don't make any sense to take something you can't give back.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much money you got, you can never ever pay somebody enough money or anything materialistic to give someone back their life or their feeling, something that you took from them.
Right.
When,
Yeah, I
when,
think. Go ahead. Go ahead.
when someone lose their life like that, again, you not only messed up their family, you messed up yours because of
True.
all the drama you're gonna have to go through. You're the one who has to go through this board and be under investigation and be suspended. I don't give a damn if you are still getting paid, but
Mm-hmm.
still, it's just the fact that you got to go through that damn process. Like,
Right.
who in the hell wants to go through all that?
Was it worth it? Is it worth it? Like
Exactly.
seriously.
Just,
Yeah,
it
it is.
just
Like you were saying, it just boils down to a simple respect for life. Like,
right.
you, we've been called animals for years. We've been called all kind of animals for years, and we are, to a degree, some of the most compassionate people in our communities and stuff like that. Um, yes, we have our bad apples, we have our low lights, we have all that. Um, but at the end of the day, it you just have to have a respect for a life in general.
Right.
And I don't want to linger on the police thing,
Yeah.
too much, because there are plenty of people who are not in law enforcement who have this same mentality.
True.
Um, I remember a long time ago, I can't remember how many years ago, but the black guy in Texas who got tied to a back of a truck and dragged until his body broke apart. Um, you got stuff like that going on, and it just blows my mind that people are that callous when it comes to another person's life, um, the effects that it will have on their family, and then if or when they get caught, they want to sit up there and say, "Oh, I'm so remorseful. I'm so this. I'm so that. I apologize." And they want to look at the court and in the family's eyes and the jury's eyes, crying, and it's that. It's too late for that. You wasn't worried about that when you was doing what you was doing. You was laughing and joking and hee hee ha ha and
Mm-hmm.
disrespecting that person's, that person's just whole bubble. Like I can't. I can't even accept that nonsense from a person who does stuff like that.
No, it's like, and I see so many cases where, uh, where melanated people forgive the person who took their relative's life. Give them a
Mm-hmm.
hug, and God's gonna forgive you. And I be thinking to myself, there's no way in hell I could do that.
Ain't no
No
way in hell I
way
could do that either.
in hell I'm finna
Mm-mm.
forgive you for taking something that you didn't have the right to take.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody's like, well, on this point of turn the other cheek. The fuck?
Yeah.
Turn the other cheek so you can slap me on the other goddamn cheek? Hell no. I'm not finna do that shit.
Yeah.
Nope. Damn that.
Mm.
I don't believe in wishing bad luck on anybody for any reason. But if you do some shit like that, takes another person's life for the sake of taking their damn life, then I hope
Mm-hmm.
your ass rot in hell.
Yeah.
If you believe
And
in hell.
I don't um not to get too deep in that whole religious thing because it's a lot of that I'm not feeling. But I don't get with that whole forgiveness thing and this, that, and the other, and it's in God's hands and this, that, and the other. I can't rock with that. Um if in your heart and your mind and in your spirit or whatever case may be, if that's what you subscribe to and that helps you sleep at night, um, more power to you.
Definitely.
Um, but my problem with that is, you know, somebody kills a family member of mine and they have to go to court and this, that, and the other, and uh, have to be judged by 6 or 12, however many people is in the jury at that time. Um, I cannot sit there and be like, oh well, I forgive you because it's in God's hands, this, that, and the other. Look here, I'm not one of them who say prayer heals all. Um, because for the longest time, you hear, oh, your prayers happen in God's time, and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Look here, my time is right now. My pain is right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pray that away. I can't look at that person who killed a family member or a close friend of mine and be like, I forgive you. I cannot. I will not do it. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, you can't go around doing this. You have to forgive. No, I don't have to forgive anybody for anything. I don't have to. You stole from me. You took a life from me. I'm more of an eye for an eye. Let me walk up in your house and kill your wife. Let me walk up in your house and kill your child. Let me kill your mother. Let me kill your father. Let you feel what I'm feeling. Then let's talk about praying the pain away. Then let's talk about forgiveness. That's where I'm at with it.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with you. I mean, let's be real about this whole thing of taking someone's life, man. Again, you cannot repay that back.
Mm-mm.
No amount of money, no amount of materialistic things can ever give that family back what you have just stolen from them.
Ever.
There's no amount of damn forgiveness in this world that can make me forgive somebody who's done something like that to my family.
Not a drop.
There's just no coming back from that.
Mm-mm.
There have been
Nah.
plenty of cases where people have gone to prison who have been murderers, and next thing you know, you hear about them being uh, murdered while they're in jail. And it's like, you got to know that those families were, I would think, were able to breathe a little bit. They were able to
Yeah.
exhale, as they say. Like, what you did to my family or our family, you were able to basically still live. You were
Mm-hmm.
able to get 3 meals a day. You were able to have a roof over your head, whatever the case may be. And the part about that is some people who commit murder have no remorse.
Not one bit.
It just it doesn't even come in their mind. It's not even, well, let me think about this. I did do wrong. It's like, so, and what?
Hmm.
Like, these people are cold blooded murderers.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I just don't get the whole, well, yeah, I got caught up in the moment and I killed your family member. Um, so that was just I was just caught up in the moment. But now that
right.
I'm not in the moment anymore, I
I'm good.
apologize. Your apology isn't needed. It's not wanted. Your
Hmm.
apology doesn't carry any weight compared to what you've done. That's just how I feel about it, man. And I know some people will say you're wrong for feeling like that, but no,
Yeah,
no, not when it comes down to the actual act of taking someone's life.
right, right. Yeah. You had said something earlier that kind of, I feel some kind of way about, personally,
Mhm.
um, about, addiction is real. Addiction is real. Um, but the problem I have with addiction is it's a choice. Um, I struggle with that because I know a lot of people who chose to use certain drugs, um,
Right.
or they start using certain drugs, and they define it as a gateway drug or whatever the case may be. Um, but for me, I've seen enough people in my lifetime, heard about enough people in my lifetime who get caught up on drugs and they're homeless and they're robbing and stealing and selling their kids and renting out their kids and selling their prized possessions and this, that, and the other. So I look around at people and I'll be like, why the hell would you want to dibble and dabble in something that can potentially have you addicted and lose everything, or just lose your quality of life, or lose your family, or whatever that you think is valuable to you? Um, I just don't get it. And I'm not even referring to situations to where uh, somebody spikes your drink, or spikes your food, or you think you smoking weed and they lace it with cocaine and something else, and
Right.
somebody says, here, try that. um I'm talking about the people who literally make a choice to try these things. um I have a problem with that because, yeah, you want that high, but why not just be high off life? I don't know.
I mean, I totally get uh, your disposition on that, right? And I used to feel that very same way. I remember one night, me and my mom, we had this discussion about that, and she laughed at me when I told her, I was basically saying the same thing you're saying now.
Hmm.
And I was kind of puzzled. I'm like, why are you laughing? And she was like, because you think everybody is mentally as strong as you are. Uh, she blew my mind right there. When
Mm.
she made that statement, like, you believe everybody is mentally as strong as you are.
Hmm.
And anyway, she elaborated, by saying that, not everyone came up with the environment that you did. Not everyone had a strong family around them. Not everyone uh, had those same encouraging people or those mentors that you had. And she really made me think about it. Like, really, you're right. I can't combat that
Mm.
because again, there are a lot of people in this world who don't have a strong family structure, who came from, a parent who already struggled with that addiction, or, family members who struggle with that addiction. So it's kind of like they are put behind the eight ball to a certain extent. That, for lack of a better word, I guess you could say they weren't given the same advantages that I had. But anyway, again, there are plenty of people who have been in my family who have fought with addiction. Um, some of them were able to beat them, and some of them weren't. But I think, again, when we say it's a choice, yes, it was a choice. There's no getting around that. But there are so many people with addiction in this world who want to get off or get away from their addictions, but they don't know fucking how. They've gone through, these rehab centers. They've gone through, trying to go cold turkey or whatever the case may be. But mentally, they are just not there. And it's kind of like one of those things where beating addiction is damn near like a muscle. The more you keep working on that muscle and exercising that muscle, no, you're not going to get it right every time. It's a fact. But you have to keep trying. And eventually you will build up enough muscle to kick whatever addiction you have, because you got plenty of people out here in the world who have been able to kick that addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And again, not trying to make excuses for anyone, but um, just going off of that conversation I had with my mom. And she's totally right. Like, mentally, not everyone is as strong as what it takes to not, participate in it.
Mm-hmm. Um, Here's my pushback to that.
All right.
Now, when you're told something like that, everybody's not strong as you. Everybody didn't come from the same background as you, and this, that, and the other. Um, how I look at that is, you because I've heard this before. I have people, had conversations with people, and I've heard the same thing.
All right.
My thing with that is, you're talking after the fact. Of course, a person who's addicted to drugs is not as strong as a person like you or I who never did drugs. Um, you come from, if I understand correctly, you come from a family structure where you were encouraged not to touch that kind of stuff.
All right.
I wasn't. I've seen that growing up from probably 4 or 5 years old throughout my entire life. Um,
Wow.
I've been offered drugs for fifth, sixth grade. Um,
Jeez.
I've um, been given alcohol third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade. Even past that. So when a lot of people make the argument, oh well, this person didn't have these role models. This person didn't have this. This person didn't have that. Understandable to a point. Where I kind of step back and be like, wait a minute, is at the end of the day, at the end of the day, a person, and I'm not talking about the people who have been tricked into drugs, who have drugs slipped into their food, drinks, or they was told they was given one thing, they was given. I'm not talking about those people,
All
because
right.
those people, for conversation person, they did not make a choice on their own. Somebody tricked them into it. I'm talking about the people who say, all right, I'm hanging out with the boys or with the girls or blah blah blah, let me try this blunt, or let me go ahead and sniff this line of cocaine, see what it's like. Let me shoot up with this heroin, or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
um, Let me pop a couple of these pills because the rappers are doing it and this, that, and the other. I'm talking about those people who make the choice to do it. You had a choice. You were sober as shit. Addiction wasn't even in your DNA makeup before you decided to touch that. Now that you decided to touch that, there are some people who can be like, you know what? It ain't for me. I'm out of here. There are some people who be like, you know what? Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. And they function or however, and they don't get, too lost. And then
Right.
there's those people who get totally lost, and those are people who in out of rehab, or their life just going to shit. I'm talking about those people who make that choice, because as crazy as addiction affects the individual person, the person who makes the choice to do it makes the choice to do it. I kind of do not have remorse for those people.
I mean,
We in our lifetime have seen countless situations, countless movies, countless documentaries, countless news reports, to where I would say, I don't want to be like that. That's my problem.
I understand exactly where you're coming from. Once again, um, so I'm really not pushing back on that per se.
Hmm.
Um, Again, I just feel like um, when it comes down to the choice itself, yes,
Hmm.
it is on the individual, and yes, we have countless of examples of what not to do,
Hmm.
of the effects of that. Um, but again, I just think that some people mentally don't have that maturity. Um, they want to experiment. They want to see what it's like. Um, and again, that wanting is what lures them in, and
Hmm.
they're thinking for whatever reason, I can just hit this thing this one time and I'm good. I tried it. Whatever happened, happened. But then they go to realizing, man, you know what? I want to try it again, and so
Hmm.
on and so forth, so on and so forth. Next thing you know, you goddamn trying to sell a hamburger in the alleyway, or or do something strange for a little bit of change. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
But
yeah. You talking about scenes from Minister
yes,
Society?
sir. Yes, sir. I am. Yes, sir. I am.
Oh
I ain't gonna throw
man.
it out there like that, but I knew you would catch on to it.
Yeah.
Um, but when it comes down to doing things like that, people as individuals, it's kind of like watching that damn Clint Eastwood movie, Dirty Harry,
Hmm.
where his most famous line is, "A man got to know his limitations."
Hmm.
And I remember watching that movie for the first time with my dad and laughing about it. But the shit makes so much goddamn sense. You
Hmm.
got to know your limitations. And if drugs is something that your family has a history of dealing with the addiction, it's gonna be pretty damn obvious you may hook into that same thing. So again, while I was growing up, I've seen plenty of people either drunk as hell or high as hell.
Hmm.
Um, so just watching people uh, being intoxicated like that and getting into fights and things along that line, I just knew, man, this shit is not for me
Hmm.
whatsoever. I remember having a conversation with one of my cousins where he said he got drunk and stayed drunk for 3 days.
God damn.
And he said once he finally stopped drinking, how he felt after those 3 days, he was like, man, there's no way in hell I could do that again. And I was
Mm,
like, but we got aunts and uncles who who've done that shit for us. So it's
mm,
kind of like that example alone, just thinking about back to that growing up, that was enough for me to know that shit is not for me. If consuming certain drugs makes you want to fight your own damn family,
mm,
not to mention damn strangers, then no. But that's just fighting. Like I said, if you selling goddamn hamburgers in the alleyway, you really know you fucked up, son.
mm-hmm,
There's just nothing good that comes out of drugs, in my personal experience. Now, there are some drugs that are healing drugs, but when you take illegal narcotics with the purpose of getting high or experimenting or whatever the case may be, then you got to know that there's going to be an outcome to that probably not going to be in your favor.
mm. Drunk.
Psychedelics, I think psychedelics are a whole nother subject. Now I'll leave that alone. But
Wow, dude,
hard drugs, yeah, I'm not gonna go there.
dude, drunk for 3 days.
Yeah, yeah. He said he was living in Atlanta.
I could not imagine being drunk for 3 days. One night of being drunk. I ain't touching shit for another 3, 4 days. That is just to get my head right, get my body right, mentally beat myself up for doing something stupid like that, rehydrating and just like, yo, what the was you thinking about?
Yeah,
Um, it's all well and good when you want to have fun, but that recovery period is a
yeah,
mother.
yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
yo. Um, yeah. I've had my days where I got pissy drunk throwing up and shit like that. I've had my days where I have got it in and was okay. But still, that next morning, waking up feeling like, yo, I need to lay down another whole day. I can't imagine
Yeah.
getting drunk for 3 days. I can't imagine being high off hard drugs. If getting drunk makes me feel like that, I would not want to touch a hard drug. Like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't built like that.
Yep.
Yo, that shit scares the shit out of me. Like, yo, and just to know that, I mean, they say when you get drunk, you kill brain cells. Now, if that is like scientifically true, why on earth would I want to do hash, cocaine, crack, LSD? Why on earth would I want to do those things? That right there is enough for me to be like, I ain't touching that. That's just me. That that alone, that alone, being pissy drunk alone scares me from using fucking crazy drugs. Period.
Man, when I was 16 years old, right, I got my arm broke, and it required putting in metal plates into my arm.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the biggest part that made me the most angriest was knowing that I had to take fucking drugs to kill the goddamn pain. It wasn't even the fact that my goddamn arm was broken. It's just the fact that I know I'm gonna have to take these goddamn drugs. But anyway, I had the surgery. They put my shit back together and cast it up and all that, and sent me home and gave me the drugs. And I think I did that shit maybe once or twice,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't fucking take it anything after that. Man, I was like, my mom and my dad was like, man, you gotta take these drugs to get over the pain. I was like, fuck that, I'll take the pain. Because the damn drugs, it just made me feel like I'm not in fucking control of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have no fucking control over Jeffrey, over
Mm-hmm.
Jay. Like
Mm-hmm.
this shit's not gonna work for me. So to make a long story short, I basically just held on to the damn pills. I only took those one or two fucking pills, and they gave me like three different damn prescriptions. And that first
Mm-hmm.
one, when that shit hit, I was like, no, I'll just take the pain. Fuck that shit.
I can definitely relate. Let me tell you, I tore both of my Achilles tendons. One I completely tore. The one the right one I partially tore.
Mm-hmm.
I had a vasectomy. I had a cyst removed from my scrotum. Um, and each time I was given narcotics for pain. The only time that I recall like really, really taking them is when I had the cyst removed.
Mm-hmm.
I took two of them jokers. I wasn't doing no more because, like you, I did not feel like me, and I refuse to be in that state. Like you, I'll take the pain, or give me a Tylenol, give me an Advil, give me a Motrin,
Yeah.
something like that. But I'm not. I'm not for the narcotics. I'm just not. I'm
Mm.
not. I can't.
Yeah, I much rather take the goddamn pain than to take them goddamn drugs, man. That
Yeah.
shit there, it scares the fuck out of me because, again, I've been around too many people and been in environments where I see what that shit do to people.
Yeah.
If I can't be in control of me, hell, fuck no. I'm good. I'll take the pain.
Yeah. Yo, it's the King and I Life podcast. Soul Touch the Poet and my man.
So Lex,
Hit us up on whatever podcast platform you prefer. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Patreon. Like, subscribe, share. Son Soul X like to tell you to hit us up on that. What?
man, make sure y'all hit us up on that KINGANDEYE 369 at gmail.com. Again, that's King and I 369 at gmail.com. Like I said, we love to hear from you. Shoot us in with some topics, some comments, whatever it is. If you want to be able to guest on the show, holla at your boys. We got you.
Yeah, yeah.